What's up everybody and welcome to the Phage Views YouTube channel. My name is Jordan and if you are new here, thank you for joining us, and if you are a subscriber, welcome back. After a week off for the holidays, I'm back with a really unique new product. I had never heard of it before. This company reached out to me and it is something that I've actually thought about inventing, or I wish someone would have invented in the past, and I'm glad that it finally exists. This is the TickTime countdown timer. It is a very unique little countdown timer that you can use for working out, for studying, for in the kitchen, anything you use a timer for. This is unique in the fact that you can set it simply by laying it down on its side. It has a bunch of preset timers and it's very easy to use. It looks good, it's compact, and I'm really stoked to tell you more about it. So before we dive into this video, if you're not a subscriber, I would love to have you become one, but we won't waste any more time on that. Let's take a look at this TickTime countdown timer. So I've looked at one other timer on the past in this channel. It was a timer that I used for the Pomodoro method of studying. If you're a student, you may have heard of this, especially a medical student. It's where you study for blocks of 25 minutes followed by a 5-minute rest period. This is a really good way to be productive, and that is what I use timers primarily for. I also use timers when I'm working out, and in the past I've just used my phone, and a lot of people do use their phones, so why would you want a dedicated timer? Well, the biggest reason is it saves you from having to open up the timer app on your phone and change it every time you need to reset a timer, especially if it's a short timer, a minute or two. It also saves you from having to keep your phone screen on the whole time if you choose to not close down the app, and sometimes a dedicated device for certain functions like a timer is just nicer to have. Now, there are plenty of kitchen timers and other timers where you can just use buttons to set a time, but this is very automated, and I'm going to tell you what I mean in a second. So we'll start by looking at the packaging of this guy. Like I said, this was funded on Kickstarter. It was crowdfunded on Kickstarter. It was massively successful, and you'll see why in just a moment. The packaging looks really good. It's got that kind of white cardboard apple box type look to it. It has a few different numbers on the side showing a few of the different timer settings that it has available. The logo right there, it's very clean and good looking. It was very well packaged and it feels secure, and it arrived to me in great condition. So opening up the box, you've got the manual on top, and I use manual loosely. It's just a little info sheet, and it's very easy to follow. The instructions are quite easy to understand, but it's not a ton of reading that you have to do, and I just dropped it on the floor. But let's take a look at what you came here for. This is the TickTime countdown timer. I'm going to pull it out of the box. It is a little hexagon. It's got this nice stainless steel finish, and it has some numbers on the side. This represents different minutes time intervals. So you've got a 3-minute, a 5-minute, a 10, a 30, and a 25, and a 15. And how you use this little timer, it's so simple. All you have to do is tip the timer over with the number of minutes you want to count down facing up, and it will automatically turn on and start counting. When the timer goes off, you tip it back up, and it turns back off. Let's say you want to do a little 5-minute timer for a break period in your study, and then when your break is over, flip it to the 25 and you have a 25-minute timer. There's no pushing buttons. It is all automated. It's as simple as turning it over and the timer starts. Now, you see the outside here. On the top, there are 2 physical buttons, and those adjust the volume of the alarm, and they also allow you to turn the unit off and on, and they allow you to set a unique customized time if you don't want to use one of the preset ones on the side. There also is a display in the middle that we'll look at in a minute, and then on the bottom you have the speaker. There's just a few little holes right there, and then you have a charging indicator light that tells you if the unit is charging when it's plugged in. The only other thing in the box is a little flat USB cable. It is a micro USB, and then just your standard USB-B on the other side. It's very short, but I imagine you'll be charging this on a desk or near an outlet. So let me turn this on and show you how it works. The operation is very simple. The manual is short, and so there's really not a ton of functions to learn. To turn on the timer, you click any button on top there, and then you'll immediately see it's kind of dim. I'm gonna see if I can shield it here. I'll get a close-up and overlay the video, but you'll see the little display, and the display shows you how long is remaining on the timer. So if you've got it sitting up on your desk and then you turn it over, you can keep an eye facing this towards you, you can keep an eye on how much time is left on the timer. Now, whenever you tip it back up, the timer will stop and the display will flash. If you want to reset the timer, just click one of those volume buttons and it will reset to 0. You can turn it over to a different time, we'll say 10 minutes, and flip it over and it will start counting immediately. The display will rotate as you choose different time intervals, so it won't be upside down. So if you flip it onto one of the times that is opposite the right side up of the display, it will flip the display automatically, which is really nice. Now, if I tip it up and click one of the buttons, it will reset the time to 0. Let's say you don't want to use one of the pre-programmed time intervals, 3, 5, 10, 15, 25, or 30. All you have to do is with the 0 on the display, just use the plus or minus buttons to set your own time. There's minutes on one side and seconds on the other, and you can set, let's say, a 20-second timer or a 5-minute and 30-second timer. However specific you want to be, you can do that. Now, once you set the timer, just lay it down on any side and it will automatically start counting. If you want to reset it, just tip it back up and the display will reset when you click one of the volume buttons. Super easy to use. So I'm going to let you hear how this sounds. I'm going to set a timer for 3 seconds, and then I'm going to tip the little thing over like this. We'll wait for that to count down. There it goes. It'll beep 8 times and then it will turn off automatically. So it doesn't go on for a long time. It's mostly there to be used if it's right next to you, so you don't want to like leave this in another room because it's not going to just keep going off and remind you, so you may burn your food or something like that. But for studying where it's right on my desk, or for working out where it's right next to me in the gym, that's perfect. Again, flip it up. The timer is reset, and then I can, again, let's do like a 5-second timer this, or I'll do 10 seconds this time. Set it back down, and I can keep talking, and it immediately starts counting. The display shows me 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it's gonna go off. There you go, just like that. One of the other really cool things is around the outside of the display is a little light ring, and it will show you kind of a visual tracking of your progress in the countdown timer. That's kind of all the functions. To turn it back off, you just hold both volume buttons at once and the display will turn off after 3 seconds, and that's it. It's super functional, it's super simple. I'm surprised no one thought of this before, but it really kind of streamlines using this for workouts or for studying or what have you. I love simplicity, and so, you know, I give thumbs up to this. The construction quality is good. It is plastic, but I don't see any like rough edges. Everything's finished really nicely. The one downside I would say to this guy is that the surface picks up fingerprints pretty easily, so keep that in mind. You know, if you're fidgeting and touching this a lot, it is gonna pick up a lot of fingerprints. There are lights under each of the numbers, so when it goes off, not only will you have the timer, but you will be able to see the lights flashing. It charges right here. It does not take long at all to charge, and I highly recommend this. If you want one of these, I will include a link down below where you can pick one up. If you're a student, if you are someone that goes to the gym a lot and does, you know, timed sets, this is gonna be great for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not a subscriber, I would love to have you become one. There's gonna be more great tech reviews on this channel every week. I cover everything from headphones to camera gear to odd little gadgets like this timer, and I would love to have you around to see all the videos. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you next time.